Hey everyone, welcome to another video teaching on this chakra video series that I am doing apparently. If your first time tuning into one of my videos and you don't yet know who I am, my name is Stef. I'm a psychic soul alignment coach, and what I do is I help spiritual entrepreneurs and spiritual people do very deep levels of healing in order to achieve their highest level of success in the world. If you're a spiritual entrepreneur, I help you to achieve your greatest level of success, influence, impact, and income. And I was asked by my spirit guides to speak this week on chakra imbalances and how to recognize whether or not you have a chakra imbalance so that you can start doing something about that to bring your life into greater alignment. And just create more harmony in your life. So if you're excited to learn more about sacral chakra imbalances, let me know by giving this video a thumbs up, a like wherever you're watching from, and let's get into this video, okay? So your sacral chakra is the second chakra that, in a sense, gets activated inside of yourself. And so in the last video, which I will hopefully in 24 hours be able to put a card up here somewhere for you to go and see that. But I said in my last video how on the root chakra imbalances, how your root chakra is at the base of your spine. So it's right there, basically like on your butt, near there somewhere. And that's the first chakra that develops. So your sacral chakra is the one that's right above that. And your sacral chakra is located approximately a few inches below your navel, okay? And so it's the second energy center that you have in your body. And this is defined by the color orange a lot of times. And the root chakra is red. I don't think I mentioned that in my last video, but yes, this is how it is. And this sacral chakra is very much connected to your emotional body. It's a chakra that is activated or developed when you're, a few months old up until about 2 years old, around there, around like, almost a year of age, 2 years old, around there is when it's really active. And so your sacral chakra is very much connected to your emotional body because your sacral chakra, it has a lot to do with emotions, okay? And that is where you really start developing certain feelings like joy or sadness or pain. It's all of these kinds of things. And it's very apparent, especially when you see children developing, right? We're going through kind of like these little stages of development in our journey. So we first develop with the root chakra, making sure our needs are met, we're being safe, secure, provided for, that kind of thing. And also, as I mentioned in my last video with the root chakra, your root chakra holds a lot of those familial beliefs. It's all about, you with that community and learning your role in that community, right? Well, your sacral chakra is, in a sense, you becoming a little bit more autonomous and you kind of not completely breaking free from the community, but you having more personal authority, you choosing to do things because you want to, because you find pleasure in them, because you feel inspired by them, you want to be creative. It's you exercising that personal authority of yourself. And so we see this a lot in children, especially as they're developing and they're kind of shifting from, almost a year old to 2 years old and that kind of thing, where they terrible twos a lot of times and they express lots of tantrums or very strong emotions, right? Because again, this is in a sense very much connected to our emotional body, our emotional center. So we kind of observe that as we see children grow up. And so this is what the sacral chakra is all about. So it also is about you expressing your creativity. It is very much connected to your relationships with other people. In a sense, it's a little bit different because from the root chakra, because your root chakra is kind of like, okay, now I'm in this family, now I'm in this community. So what do I need to do to continue to form part of this community, to be loved and accepted? Whereas the sacral chakra is more of, okay, I'm relating to others still, but I'm going to be more of my authentic self as I relate to others. I'm going to do things that I want as I connect with other people. It's not, in a sense, you falling back in line and getting along with everyone. it's not to say that you're being conflictive. It's just that you are now being you, and you're not necessarily trying to hurt other people, but in a sense, you just don't really care because you're doing your thing and you're just being you. So you're like, I don't care if they, don't agree with me or whatever. I'm just being me here, right? That's what it feels like. So this is why a lot of times you see children, they're exercising their authority, and they don't care if their parents are telling them, no, don't do this. They like answer back and they're like, no to you, parent, right? I know this because I worked with children many years ago. So this is what you can start observing. So it's connected to your creativity, to your emotions, to your feelings. It's also because of its position, and with it being a few inches below your navel and slightly above your root, it's very much connected to your sexuality and sensuality. So it's connected to reproductive organs there. It's about your relationships as well. Again, how you relate to other people as yourself, and also the emotions that you experience in relating to people. So it's very much connected to relationships. And so this is what the sacral chakra is all connected to and what it's all about. Now, when your sacral chakra is imbalanced, when you have some blocks in your sacral chakra, this will oftentimes manifest as low self-confidence, trouble with your self-esteem, around there, self-confidence and esteem, because if you, for example, as a child, sorry if you hear the ambulance in the background, but it's really loud in Lima. This is kind of a normal thing. Even though with quarantine, it hasn't been very loud because it's been peaceful. But anyway, so with your sacral chakra, what was I talking about? The confidence. Yeah. So if, as you were kind of developing during these years of 1 to 2 years old, when you're developing your identity, your kind of like personal power, in a sense, personal authority, and maybe you were put down, maybe you were disempowered in some kind of way, it's going to naturally affect your confidence, right? It's also connected to, if you have sacral chakra imbalances, you might definitely experience trouble with intimacy as you grow up, with allowing yourself to experience pleasure, with expressing your sensuality and sexuality, because again, these are connected to the reproductive organs. So if you have chakra imbalances there in your sacral chakra, then this is how it might manifest in your day-to-day with your relationships and interactions with other people. And you might have trouble accepting your own personal body, your own sensuality and sexuality, and repress that part of yourself. And this can often manifest as having a low sex drive or low libido. And it can also cause you to have difficulty having orgasms when you are being engaged with someone in that way. So this is how the sacral chakra imbalance can be affecting you in your relationships and in your sex life. Okay. When you also have sacral chakra imbalances, I don't know why I keep saying root chakra, but sacral chakra imbalances, this can also definitely affect your creativity. And so you might have trouble being able to write, being able to speak, to teach, to come up with things, to start projects. I know for me as an entrepreneur, working with entrepreneurs, a lot of times people feel like they have trouble creating content in many different ways. I personally don't believe in that, because people sometimes come to me and they tell me I'm not a good writer, I'm not a good speaker, I'm not good at this, blah, 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 blah. And I just think it's all untrue personally, because I used to feel that way myself. I used to be that way myself, but through my own personal healing, I was able to clear the energetic imbalances, emotional balances, and other imbalances inside of myself that then freed up the energy and allowed for that information that I needed to access, or I wanted to access, to flow through me so that I could create the things that I was feeling called to create, and that I would actually follow through follow through on them, because a lot of times in the past, especially, I used to have all these bright ideas of all these things I wanted to do and just amazing things, but I would never take action on them, right? And so this, in a sense, if you're experiencing that for yourself as well, might be a sign that you have some sacral chakra imbalances that you need to clear up in order to allow your creativity to flow through, and so that you can actually start taking action on those things and see them done, okay? Because we're infinite divine beings, and we have the ability to access our soul or our higher self or the creator's divine knowledge and wisdom to create things, to talk about things, all this stuff. So we have the ability to access that, but when we're not accessing that, it's because on some level there is a resistance there is a block there's something holding things up. So if you're experiencing that, you might be having some sacral chakra imbalances within yourself that you need to address in order to clear that up. Again, because the sacral chakra is connected to our sexuality or sensuality, our reproductive organs, if you're having trouble with fertility, if you are having extreme menstrual cramps as a woman, then this could be a sign that you have major imbalances in your sacral chakra. If you're having like PCOS, cysts, these kinds of things inside of your sacral chakra, then these kinds of things in your reproductive organs, then you very might well have these sacral chakra imbalances that you need to take a deeper look at in order to heal those things. And I want to share my personal experience around this, because in the past, I used to have menstrual cramps, okay? They were definitely not as bad as maybe other people I know, because I used to have friends that literally would get really, really sick and throw up because the pain was just too intense for them, and it caused them to have this physical reaction. So it can get that bad. However, I never had that kind of experience, but I would feel really, really uncomfortable. I would have a lot of pain, a lot of bloating, just a lot of discomfort. Maybe not to the extent of other people, but it felt like that to me. And so, as I've noticed, as I've gone on this healing journey, and definitely, I made dietary changes along the years, and I know that definitely helped with the pain and the symptoms. But as I've done the deeper healing and stuff, I have less and less symptoms. And the only times I really have symptoms are usually when something needs my immediate attention, and that's my body's way of telling me, like, you have something, you got to heal around this. So then I do the healing work, and then the symptoms pass usually. But for the most part, I don't really have symptoms so much anymore. And so if you have this extreme menstrual cramp pain, if you have PCOS, if you have, what is it called in English when they have emotional imbalances during their period? I can't remember right now, but that thing. If you have fertility issues, then this is a sign that you might need to clear up some sacral chakra energy. And with that, I also want to add people who are on perimenopause or menopause as well. If you're having those kinds of issues, then you might have some sacral chakra imbalances that you need to address as well inside of yourself, because your body really is amazing. It has so much natural innate wisdom. It is designed to function optimally, and the body naturally regenerates itself. And the only time that it has trouble regenerating itself is when there are things that are keeping it from doing so, and keeping it from working in the way in which it's intended to. So if you're having these kinds of symptoms, then chances are you probably need to have a deeper look or a closer look at your sacral chakra to see what imbalances you have there, because there might be some things that you need to let go of, right? And again, going back to what I said earlier around how your sacral chakra is very much connected to your emotional body, it's very much connected to your feelings and your emotions. You might have some very strong emotions trapped inside of yourself in this part of your body, in this energy center, that are causing those symptoms, those imbalances in your physical body. So you need to release those things in order to allow yourself to move forward, okay? Your sacral chakra, again, related to the reproductive organs and stuff, if you're having issues with birthing, you're having trouble with giving birth, you're having complicated births, you may have experienced in past births like preeclampsia or other difficult conditions that made it hard for you to have your children, or that that are affecting you, again, that might be an opportunity for you to take a closer look at what's going on in your sacral chakra, whether you're still pregnant or you're not, or you're going to be giving birth soon, to really look at those things so that you can correct them, align them, release them. Do whatever necessary inner work you need to do around there to release that energy, so that the next time you get birth, you have an easier time, or that you release these symptoms and you enjoy the rest of your pregnancy, these kinds of things. So I really highly recommend that you address these sacral chakra issues or energy imbalances inside of yourself to make things easier for yourself, make your experiences more enjoyable. Okay. Now, your sacral chakra, again, is very much connected to that personal authority, right? You're kind of you're starting to create your new identity, your identity of yourself on a deeper level. And it's, as I said earlier with the children and they're going through the terrible twos, that doesn't have to be the case for every child. You can manifest the opposite. I will say this, manifest. You can manifest the opposite. However, a lot of times when we're developing, we're going through that process, that experience of developing our personal authority, we're kind of, in a sense, beginning to exercise our will, right? We're saying, I like this, I don't like this, this feels good to me, this doesn't, no, I don't want that, right? You hear children start saying no a lot during those ages. And so with that personal authority, sometimes there is a connection to your need to control things, right? Because you want this, you don't want this, you're kind of controlling things, right? So that is where things around control issues can oftentimes be connected to is the sacral chakra. So if you are very controlling, and especially when it comes to relationships, because again, sacral chakra connected to relationships. If you're a very controlling kind of person in your relationships, if you have a lot of jealousy, you just very controlling. Also, it could be the opposite, where it's not controlling, but it's like smothering, it's clinginess. Then this is indication that you have a sacral chakra imbalance that you need to take a closer look at, okay? Because there is some kind of an energetic imbalance there, or some kind of energy there that you need to release in order to let go of those behaviors of jealousy, in order to let go of that codependency, that clinginess that you might experience. And in order for you to let go of this need to control. And you don't have to necessarily be controlling in relationships. Maybe you're controlling with yourself. Maybe you're controlling in certain situations and circumstances where you feel like it has to be done this way, or else you lose it, or else it sends you into fear, worry, panic. So if you are noticing that you have some control issues, then that might very well mean that there is something in your sacral chakra that you need to address in order to release that energy and release those behaviors and become more relaxed, become more trusting, just flow with life more and just enjoy it. Okay. So again, if you recognize that you're codependent, and codependency doesn't necessarily mean codependent in a relationship. You can be codependent on sex, on drugs, on binge watching Netflix or something. It's where you become dependent on something to make you feel good, or to just take your mind off things and just disconnect, right? So if you're noticing codependency inside of yourself, chances are there's some there's some sacral chakra imbalances that you need to take a closer look at. And this brings me back to what I was saying earlier about how, this is our emotional center a lot of times, okay? They're all connected to emotions on some level, but this is very much connected to our emotional body. It's how we start really feeling into our body and how we feel the world around us, okay? And sense the world around us, experience the world around us. So our sacral chakra, because it's very much connected to the emotions and the feelings, when we have very deep trauma that we've experienced at a young age, when we have a lot of intense emotions stored inside of ourselves, and it's creating this imbalance in our sacral chakras, this often leads us to be sometimes to become apathetic, to develop this apathy where we kind of become numb to things and we don't want to feel our emotions anymore because we have a lot of pain, a lot of things trapped inside of ourselves. So we don't want to feel the pain of those emotions. So we just kind of shut that down. And this is very common in people that I work with, especially who have gone through really deep things where, maybe you've told yourself in past circumstances, that person did this to me and they were wrong for it, or that situation happened to me and it really affected me, but whatever, like, I don't care about it anymore. It doesn't affect me anymore. They can walk out of my life if they want. I don't care, and you tell yourself you don't care. You have this kind of apathetic attitude about you where it doesn't bother you. But a lot of times in reality, when I work with people and I see them or I read their energy, I can just tell it's totally impacting them. And so when you have this apathy where you're not feeling emotions, you have trouble connecting with other people, developing that intimacy, where things, you're kind of shut down, okay? You're kind of shut down emotionally, then that is a very strong sign that you have a sacral chakra imbalance that you really need to address right away in order to start releasing those emotions that you truly feel deep down inside. Because if you don't allow yourself to feel those emotions and process them and release them, all they do is just keep getting trapped and trapped more and more in you and build up until eventually it takes a toll on you in some way, shape, or form, either in the form of having massive physical illnesses or diseases, challenges, or things manifest in your life externally that are just really challenging. So if you notice that, that's a sign that you have some sacral chakra imbalances that you need to look at. And I say that from, personal experience as well, because I went through a lot of trauma. If you've seen videos of me on my channel, the last video I did on my channel here this past Friday was all around how taking personal responsibility over your life is how you turn your life around. And there, I shared a lot of personal stuff about myself. I got emotional in that video because of my life experiences, and there I share more of my story. So if you want to watch that afterwards, you're more than welcome to click up here somewhere to see that video, which will be connected to this in like 24 hours after I post this video. But I experienced a lot of very painful things in my life journey. And at some point along the way, in order to cope with that, in order to cope with the difficulties of my life, with the pain, with the trauma, with the abuse, all of those different things, I shut down emotionally. And I just became very apathetic. But that was all because I held a lot of this emotional pain inside of myself. And so I had some major sacral chakra imbalances there. But I do want you to know that if this is your case, that you can come back from that, that you can heal from that, that you can start creating more balance in your sacral chakra again, as you take yourself through a healing process and to release that energy. And that will help you to start feeling comfortable with your emotions again and to allow yourself to express them and to actually release them and do what you got to do with them, okay, to help you move forward. So that is also how sacral chakra imbalances can manifest inside of yourself. Other physical symptoms you might experience as a result of sacral chakra imbalances are maybe lower back pain, maybe arthritis, and maybe issues with your hips. It's anything that's kind of in that general area, any organs and things that are, between like the lower part of your belly and above your root chakra. That general area, if you have some issues with that, then there might be some sacral chakra issues you got to look at in order to release those physical symptoms. Because when you have physical symptoms, because if not, oops. I'm just going to keep talking though, and hopefully whatever's going on with the internet gets resolved. And I hope I'm not, there you go. The internet hopefully got better. So I think that's basically it for today's video. Oh yeah, one thing that I want to mention in regards to sacral chakra imbalances is because this is our center where we experience emotions and feelings, it's also very much, and our sexuality and sensuality, it's very much connected to allowing ourselves to experience pleasure in life, okay? To allow ourselves to, sense the world around us and to really enjoy it all around us, okay? So when we're having trouble really feeling emotions like joy and pleasure and just feeling good, when we're having issues with that, then, and we have trouble being in these states, then those are signs that we have some sacral and chakra imbalances that we have to address in order to allow ourselves to finally feel those things and to enjoy life more, to flow with life, especially. To allow ourselves to, be carried by the universal energy around us instead of feeling stressed out about life and everything that's going on. So this was definitely true for me because of my own life experiences. I had a lot of trouble experiencing joy growing up, and joy is something that I need to still consciously practice getting into because I'm in the habit of just being a worker bee and just being serious and doing the things and getting it done. And I have to literally make a conscious choice to remember to have fun, to remember to loosen up, to remember to be goofy, to laugh and to relax and feel good, right? So if you notice that you have behaviors or tendencies where you don't allow yourself to have fun and you're just pushing, doing, making things happen, you feel like you have to be serious, like you can't express your emotions. These kinds of things, you can't do nice things for yourself. You can't relax. When you have these kinds of behaviors, these are signs that you have some sacral chakra imbalances that you have to look at in order to enjoy life, because it really is meant to be enjoyed. You're not going to always be happily, bubbly, smiling all the live long day, because we're here and we're human and we have the spectrum of emotions that we go through. But it is important to recognize that if you are a very serious person and you don't enjoy life and you're just not flowing with life, then something there needs to be looked at so you can shift that and allow yourself to have more fun with life, with your experience, with everything that you're going through. Okay, I think that's basically it for today's video. Oh, there's 2 more things, okay? So I appreciate you hanging out with me. If you've been enjoying this video, give this video a thumbs up, a like wherever you're watching from. Make sure to leave a comment letting me know what you got out of this video, how it helped you. But there's 2 more things that I wanted to mention in terms of physical symptoms with sacral chakra imbalances. Another one that I want to mention is with urinary problems. So because, again, everything that's in that general area is affected and influenced by the imbalances of our sacral chakra, our urinary stuff, our tract, our bladder, that kind of stuff, if we're having issues with that, then there is a high probability that we have sacral chakra imbalances. And I say this also because my experience, I swear everything happened to me growing up. I was like, I don't know, the poster child for sacral chakra imbalances or something. But growing up, I had a lot of issues with my bladder and having a lot of just urinary issues where I had to go to the hospital to be checked and that kind of stuff. And for me personally, now that I've gone on this personal development, healing journey, spiritual journey for the last few years, I really recognize now that the reason that I had a lot of issues when I was younger with my bladder and my urinary tract was because I held a lot of anger inside of myself because I grew up being abused and I was a child, and adults, in particular my father, was imposing his will upon me and I couldn't exercise my own personal authority and I felt stifled and I held all of that frustration inside of myself, and so it manifested into these urinary issues. So if you have children going through this kind of stuff where they're having issues with this, if you maybe have urinary tract kind of issues, this might be the connection to that. You might have some anger or some built-up frustration there. It could be other things as well, not necessarily anger. But if you're having issues with these parts of your body, then chances are there is some kind of imbalance in your sacral chakra that you need to address in order to clear that physical symptom up and to release it. Another thing is that because your sacral chakra is connected to your creativity, this is very much connected a lot of times to fantasizing, to kind of, imagining things, right? Your creativity, you're imagining pictures in your head. And so when you are too busy fantasizing, like you're over fantasizing, living in an imaginary kind of world a lot of times, then they're like to the point where it's detrimental to you, to the point where maybe it disconnects you from reality, then this is a sign that you have an imbalance there. And especially because the sacral chakra is connected to sexual organs, if you over fantasize, like in terms of sexual images in your mind, you're imagining these kinds of things and you're just too in your head with that. And it's not helpful for you, it's not productive for you, then there might be a sacral chakra imbalance that you need to look at in order to shift out of that. There's nothing wrong with fantasizing, imagining things. There's nothing wrong with that. But when it's detrimental to you, where it's not supporting you, it's hurting you in some kind of way, it's going against you, it's not allowing for you to really connect to this world or to your body or to your life, then you need to address that, because you're here as a human and you need to experience this. One last thing that I want to mention before I finish this video is that what I've noticed a lot is that a lot of times when people, especially because I'm a spiritual entrepreneur and I help other spiritual entrepreneurs create success in their lives, is that a lot of times when they have sacral chakra issues, it's very much connected to their sense of self-worth. And this is why they have trouble manifesting money. They have trouble attracting the things that they desire, attracting what they wish to create in life, because they don't feel worthy. They don't feel good enough. And they feel like they need to be more than who they are. They need to have XYZ before they can get these things. And so when you have worthiness issues, quite often this is very connected to your sacral chakra, and you need to heal around that in order to allow yourself to feel worthy and to really just start owning more of your divine worth so that you can allow yourself to manifest those things that you want. So if you have been trying to create success in your business, but you've been struggling to, and you have all these limiting beliefs and fears around, thinking people are not going to pay you, they're not going to like what you have to offer, you're not as good, kinds of thoughts and maybe you're low, all these kinds of things related to those thoughts, then these are some self-worth issues that you need to address that are quite likely connected to your sacral chakra. So you might need to do some healing there in order to clear that up, to allow yourself to succeed. Because as I mentioned earlier, this is the second chakra that we have that's kind of like activated or developed inside of ourselves when we're young. It's when we start developing a greater sense of our personal identity. And we, the experiences that we have with the people around us, especially our family, what we're worthy of. And so if you have some things that impacted you negatively as a child and made you feel unworthy from a very young age, then this unworthiness is still inside of you. And it's highly likely that it's in your sacral chakra. It could be maybe in your heart chakra, it could be in your solar plexus, but it might be connected to your sacral because that is where your emotions are. That's your emotional body. And you probably felt uncomfortable feelings by feeling unworthy around people close to you that are supposed to love you. And so that energy, that emotion, that experience, that trauma is still lodged there. It's still trapped there. And that's what needs to be released for you to feel more worthy and to really allow yourself to receive what you desire. So I really hope that this has helped you. If it has, please let me know by dropping a comment in the comment section of this video. Feel free to share this video with anyone else that you feel would benefit so much from this. And if you would like to know what deeper healing work you need to do in order to move yourself forward, else that you feel would benefit so much from this. And if you would like to know what deeper healing work you need to do in order to move yourself forward, to create more of the life that you desire, then I invite you to download my checklist. It's called 101 Ways to Know You Need Healing Work. I will drop the link to that checklist after I do this video so that you can go and download that and receive this checklist. And you will also receive other emails and things that might be able to support you in moving forward along your healing journey. I also have a very powerful 12-week program called Remembering Who You Are. And it's a very deeply healing program that really allows for you to bring up to the surface a lot of the deep traumas and wounds and things that you're holding on to consciously and unconsciously that are really impacting your ability to be the highest version of yourself, to be more of your true divine self, and that are impacting your ability and really being able to create the life that you truly desire. So if that is something that interests you, feel free to reach out to me about remembering who you are. You can contact me via the links that I have in the description of this video to my social media. I'm on Instagram, Facebook. You can reach out to me there. But it's a very powerful program that will absolutely change your life and help you to improve. And I have 2 testimonials up on my channel so far that you can go check out. So you can go see those. They will be in the cards up here somewhere in 24 hours after this video is posted for you to check out, because I can't add the cards yet. But otherwise, they're on my channel right now. You can go check them out. I have a client who I interviewed yesterday who was able to come off her arthritis medication because of the healing work that she was able to do in Remembering Who You Are. And so the things that I teach in this program have helped people to lose weight, to improve their health, to attract clients, money, attract opportunities, so many amazing things because they did the very deep healing work. So if you want to go through that journey with me, definitely reach out to me. I'm launching Remembering Who You Are again for the 3rd time on July 1st, 2020. And then I just launch my programs as my guides ask me to, because I launch them according to what the energy is asking for at this time. So if you want to join me in this round of Remembering Who You Are, come and message me. All right. So thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate you. I will see you in tomorrow's video as I speak on the solar plexus chakra. Take care, everyone. Bye.